I just want to ask you a few questions about your life, Nana.
Very good deal, Will.
Just, what were your mum and dad like?
Well, they must have been very good people, I think, to have reared such a family as they did in difficult times. But Dad was a very happy man, it didn't trouble him. As long as you made ends meet and with a meal on the table, he was always as happy as could be, really. I don't remember Dad ever being sort of unhappy or, miserable. Mum just got on and did what had to be done, I suppose. And that was about that.
Yeah. And what was the house in the town like where you grew up?
Oh, it was a new house, really, up there on the, it was up on a rise. And we had a very smart house on the one side of us, and they were marvellous. I don't think they were all that happy about this family that were coming to live right next to them and being Catholics at that.
Yeah.
But we became the greatest of friends. And they really were, they were up, they were wealthy people through their work, only through their work. But their home was lovely, and it was a lovely big place, and they had everything that opens and shuts in their woodshed. And Mr. Wood was very good and used to say you can borrow anything as long as you put it back.
Yeah.
Put it back when you finish using it. And really, he made good use of that because he had every conceivable tool that you could imagine.
Yeah.
And so they were wonderful good neighbours to us, really. Even if they didn't so particularly welcome us, really, they would have rather had probably a non-Catholic family for a start.
Yeah.
There was a lot of feeling for Catholics in those days, much more than today, really, I think. I don't think people care to whose what you are today. But in those days, I think it was, well, we went up to the little Catholic school, and their children went out to the Gonville school, so it was things like that. Now, what have you interrupted that little fellow for? You just upset all he was doing there.
So what was school like? Did you have a favourite teacher or any subjects you were particularly good at?
Oh, I think the teaching came fairly regularly. I don't think they left the nuns at one place for very long. Perhaps the head teacher stayed for a few years, but overall they changed around quite a bit, the teaching. From what I can remember, out there at Glenville.
What sort of subjects did you learn at school?
Well, they would have had the same criteria of subjects that they're supposed to learn, the same as the non-Catholic children.
Yeah.
Whether we did it, whether we didn't, I'm not just too sure that they stuck with it.
Yeah.
But however, I think we learned it 2 and 2 were 4, and so on through the years, really. We went up to the Sacred Heart after that. Well, then you move on to the next, whatever they were teaching up there.
And did you enjoy school?
Oh, yes, I think so. There was never any burden to go to school. No, I don't think so. I don't think it was a burden. It was just routine. That's what you did, Here he comes. He has to investigate.
He does. And
he just has to know what you're up to.
What about your siblings? What can you tell us about your siblings? Any one-word descriptions of them?
Well, they've been good, easy kids, and of course we've been blessed with such marvellous health. Those, my children have been so healthy, and I have been extremely healthy myself. And if you've got good health, well, it's more than half the battle.
It is.
And really, we were, all 7 of them never had more than a cough or a cold. I mean, we really were very healthy.
And what about your siblings?
Well, that's who I'm saying.
Yeah.
That they were so healthy, and I came from a healthy stock too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the I always say that's the greatest blessing you can get. There's good health for a start, isn't it?
It is. And how did you get into netball?
Oh, I suppose just natural. It was the only game a girl could play, and so that's how that's what you played. If you wanted to do anything, that's what you played. And tennis, had a bit of luck with the tennis because the Woodses had a court down behind their place, you see, and we could use that whenever we liked. It was a full asphalt court.
Yeah.
And again, they left rackets and balls down there, and that was always just a stipulation that you could use them and put them back where you found them. And there was a box for them there, and they had a little sort of sunport thing down there, and that's where you put them when you finished playing. And that was the only stipulation we ever had, and really we did use it quite a lot because Mary and I were quite good about playing against each other, we just hit the ball to each other, really, I suppose you would say. But we did learn the rudiments of how to play tennis because of the court that was at our back, just out at our back door.
So do you think those tennis skills helped you be good in the netball court?
Oh, yes. I think one sport leads to another, definitely, really. Yes, I'd say so.
And was Mary a good netballer?
She was vigorous. She was always wanting to win, no matter what. If you had to use your hips, you used them. You didn't have them for show purposes only. No fear.
Oh, good.
Because she was a different build from me, you see, really. She was more chubby and heavier, but shorter build than me. But we were the greatest of mates as sisters, really. We had a lot of fun together. There was no question about that. Where I'd been without her, really. She was the driving force for most things,
So do you think she encouraged you to play a lot of netball?
Absolutely. She forced you to do your level best, and if you jolly well weren't, she'd let you know. No half larks with Mary. No fear. You got in there and you did your best, no matter what we were doing.
And did she ever play at the high level that you played at?
Not quite, no. But she wouldn't have had the height for a start, that would have been a bit of a disadvantage. And she was a bit rough, just on the quiet she was. Just a bit too vigorous, She had got a few penalties against those hips of hers. Yes, Rosie, my sister-in-law, she often reminds me that when she played in the centre too, and in those days the centre was a 3 here, and the defence were 3 there, and the goal third was a 3 there. So, but Mary evidently said to Rosie one day when walking off, I couldn't be without these hips, Mary. They are invaluable coming off. And Rosie thought it was so funny. Anyway, any port in the storm, that was about the motto.
And what do you have any favourite moments from playing netball?
Oh, we would have had some surprise wins at times. We might have beaten Auckland, and that sort of thing. And that would have been a real breakthrough because we were only a small union, really, Wanganui. And we were lucky to be playing in a senior grade, really. So, yes, it would have been, we would have had the odd, victory in that way that it would have been celebrated because it wouldn't happen very often. We'd beat one of the top of, there was Palmerston and ourselves would be the 2 lower ranked in that senior grade, really. Otherwise, it was the Aucklanders mostly. And of course, Wellington had a good team. Always. Hawke's Bay. Well, we were sort of on the level with Hawke's Bay. We could sort of beat them, they could beat us. You know, we were sort of either way. Manawatu, it was the same, you know, about the same level as us, and we could pull off a victory against them, and they could beat us too. It was, but we wouldn't be, you know, it would be very rare that we would beat Auckland. They were stronger.
Mm.
Stronger union, you know, much stronger union than we had, really.
And you were captain for a while, were you?
Oh, heavens, I was captain for so many years, I couldn't remember when I wasn't captain, you know. No, that was just, nobody even made any mention of that. We were, you know, I was captain for donkey's ages.
So you must have
It just seemed to just sort of fall into my lap always, just to be captain. It was the way it was.
You must have had some leadership skills then.
Oh, I must have had. Yes, I must have had something. we did quite well for who we were, you know.
Mm.
Yes.
And you played for the North Island team as well, didn't you?
Yes. I did play. I got into the North team, so that was quite exciting.
And for how long would you have played for them?
Oh, I think I would have had 2 or 3 years when I got picked for the North Island. You know, I think I've still got medals up there that sort of said this was the North Island. You picked for the North Island team. Because they didn't pick a New Zealand team in those days. It was the North and the South. I suppose they weren't going anywhere, so they didn't pick
And was there any trips that you got to go on because of it?
Oh, well, we were tripping away quite a bit just for the Whanganui crowd anyway, you know. You had to go wherever you were destined to play.
And do you have any favourite trips in your mind from it?
Oh, I wouldn't think I've got any great memories of any particular time we beat somebody, you know, that we would have been very proud of.
Did you ever get into mischief after the trips or on the trips?
Oh, well, there was always a bit of fun. There was always somebody who would lead you into a bit of mischief. That wasn't the captain's role. No.
You had to be sensible, did you?
Well, you tried to stay a bit apart from the gang troubles. Let them get on with it.
And did you find it hard to balance training and competing with everyday life as a female athlete?
That was never any trouble, dear. Just everybody went to their jobs or what everybody was working at, you know.
Mm.
And most of us were just doing ordinary jobs that paid their way, and that's what they did.
And would you have still been living at home at that stage?
Oh, yes. I lived at home all 3 years until I got married.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have dreamed of going anywhere else.
Yeah.
But of course, we lost our mother early, you see, too. That made a difference. I think I was 17, and Mary was still at secondary school. And that was tough. It was hard for her coming home in the afternoon and no mum at home, you know, until one of us got home from work. So that was a bit hard on her.
And would you have helped out a lot then when you got home?
At the double, look, he's sorting out just to see who's boss.
Would you have helped out a lot at home then at that stage?
Well, I think Terry might have been overseas. Yeah, he was serving the country. Brian would have been married, and Pat, they were both married and by that time. And Arling would have been still at home. So he had company.
And how did you meet Humphrey?
By accident or where, I don't remember actually. My very first look at him, I really couldn't tell you. He was sort of in the roundabout for quite a while, you know. But I always liked the look of him. He had a jovial sort of look about him. And he provided well for all the years too. We weren't wealthy, but we were never short, if you know what I mean. If you wanted anything, well, go and get it, he'd say, you know. And we weren't penny pinching, really. So that made life easier than for a lot of people at that time didn't have that. The milk check was pretty good. And, you know, that came in every month. Well, you know, it didn't bother Humphrey if you spent the lot. There'll be another one next month, sort of, you know. He was very easy like that, very easy.
And how was it moving into his house for the first time?
Oh well, it was no palace. It was a roof over our head, and we made a home of it. But he had lived there himself for some time. You know, he had been living by himself in that house for quite a wee while before he married. When Arling and I were coming out, it was one of the first times Arling had seen it, I think. And Mary said, I'm not going. You'll be just laughing at him all the time, so I'm not going to go. You'll only be making jokes of him in the house and all. She said, I'm not going. You know, they're just for you to be laughing at him. So I tell you, he always had a soft spot for Mary, since she's the only one with any sense. Because it did look funny, you know, it was an old place. But anyway, it suited, and we made it home for a long time.
Yeah, anyway. Okay. And what do you remember most of Humphrey?
Yes, he's taking a little fella.
He's taking him for a wee nappy change.
Taking him for a little walkabout.
Yeah. What do you remember most about Humphrey?
Oh, I think his sense of fun, definitely, and his sense of ease of please yourself. You know, that he really was a genial sort of fella. Easy to live with. And enjoyed his job. You know, he liked milking cows and that. You know, it wasn't a hardship to be going out to work to milk.
And what about your own children? How did you find becoming a mother?
Well, probably fussed more than I should have, really, I suppose, as we all do. But no. But I was always very pleased that they were blessed with such good health. Because you can manage both things if you've got good health. You know, really.
Yeah.
By Jove, they were healthy children. We were healthy.
And what's one word to describe each of your children, or one thing when you think of them?
I suppose that they were difficult, I suppose. There was nobody much that was really against the government. Most of them cooperated with whatever we were doing, which wasn't very exciting, and we didn't do much, but they just seemed to tag along. I think they had a happy enough childhood.
Do you ever remember taking them on holiday or anything?
I took the two eldest when they were. That was all I had at the time. I went over to Hawke's Bay. Well, because Hawke's Bay was my mecca, you know, that's where everything that was good happened in Hawke's Bay in those days. Well, one or the other got sick, or one or the other was up and down all night, and oh my goodness me, I couldn't get on that bus quick enough to get home again. And I said when I came home, well, that's the end of me taking these children away until they're much older. They'll not go. I'll never take them anywhere. And I don't think I ever did, and they never bothered them at all. No, I said, no, that's the end of that. I'm not taking them away when they, you know, were out of the comfort zone. They didn't know what they're supposed to do, or they were a bit lost, and I was a bit lost. So I thought, well, that's the end of that. I wasn't made for holidays. We were very much home sweet home.
And what about in your own childhood? Did you ever go away on holiday?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't go. We didn't pack up our bags and go for holidays. That just wasn't on our wish list.
No, wasn't the done thing.
No, well, some people did, but we didn't.
Is there any big changes in the world that you've seen over your lifetime? What are the biggest differences you've seen, and how have you adapted to it?
I suppose women have had a better go, you know, have had more say in the, you know, what you're going to do with with the week's wages or whatever. Not very politically minded. It wouldn't have bothered me what they did. The Governor General could come in and he could go out, and it didn't bother us.
Is there anything about like old lifestyle that you prefer?
Oh, I think we've moved away from it all, really. And I think we've improved the lifestyle for people altogether. I think people should be happier with their day-to-day lives than they used to be. I think the money has stretched out to sort of provide a little bit more comfort than perhaps they used to have in the earlier days.
And do you think our lives now are easier just in general with like cooking and laundry and?
Well, that was always a big job, was the washing, no question about that. But then we got on to the automatic machines and things and all. That's marvellous. Marvellous. To ease the burden, no end for the housewife. You know, automatic drying, and it has helped quite considerably.
And what do you think has been the secret to your long life?
Good luck, I think. Mostly good luck.
And what about your diet? What's that? What do you think has your diet got much to do with it?
Well, maybe. I don't know, but I haven't altered all that much, so maybe it is a matter of just eating what you need to eat and not overeat. I've just maintained much the same as I am.
And if you could leave one message or life lesson for your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, what would it be?
What would it be? I wonder. God help us. Be true to your religion and be true to yourself and to all of those around about you. honest and true. And try to be happy. Make the most of life. Because we get a pretty good innings if if you're well enough. It's a pretty good innings, really. We've never had any violence or anything like that within our home. Never.
No, we've been very lucky.
Yes.
And looking back, what are you most proud of? Any achievements or family?
Just perhaps making it, yes. Just producing a good, healthy family. And they've all got on and done quite nicely, thank you. So everybody seems to be reasonably happy, I think.
No, we've had some great success.
The grass was pretty short till somebody came in. I was surprised to hear that lawnmower going yesterday or the day before. I thought there'd be no grass out there, but we found something to cut anyway.
It is short.
Buzzed around and did something. Because Michael's, sort of keeps this tidy, and he gets him to mow his own place in the other house that he's got up there. So, but I didn't expect to see him over the weekend. I thought he'd be, yesterday or the day before. I thought there wouldn't have been much growth.
No, it's very short.
No, it's very dry at the minute, isn't it?
Yes. But it always is, this is the usual really in February. We're usually pretty dried out by February.
Oh yeah.
March we'll get a bit of a rain gauge.